So I wanted to come on here and talk about the Bengals game from yesterday. They are now 2-0, first place in the AFC North. But as everybody knows by now, unfortunately, that's not going to be the focal point here. As Bengals fans know, as NFL fans around the league know, Joe Burrow is going to be out for most of the season. He suffered another serious injury yesterday in the win, and what should be a really exciting time right now for Bengals fans is marred by this situation. And speaking as somebody who was at the game yesterday, you could feel a major energy shift once he left. We've been down this road before, and we're frustrated. Joe's frustrated, and you could definitely tell that people are really on pins and needles. Jake Browning came in, he definitely struggled at times, but he also played well at other times. Showed a lot of guts and poise in driving the team down the field at the end to win. People were pretty excited leaving the stadium, myself included. But we were all very nervous about the potential, Joe Burrow injury news, and our worst fears are definitely confirmed. So now, Jake Browning's going to have every opportunity to try and lead this team for most of the rest of the way. There have been some veterans that have been mentioned in possible trade rumors, but quite frankly, Jake Browning's been part of the system for a while now, and guys like Kirk Cousins and Jameis Winston, I really don't think would be any better. So I think they should roll with Jake and give him a real shot here, because while he's not Joe Burrow, he does have playmakers around him that can help him out. And like I said, he looked pretty good, and he got good protection, which to me is another story. As somebody who's been spending time online sort of trying to understand why this keeps happening to Joe Burrow, the easiest scapegoat, in my opinion, is the offensive line. But as far as I'm concerned, it's more coaching and schemes. The Bengals, in my opinion, they have somewhat tried to improve the line. They've brought guys in. I'm still not thrilled with the interior part of the line, but they did pay Orlando Brown. They did pay Ted Karras. And to me at this point, I don't think that all these offensive linemen are this bad. I think it's schemes and coaching. I really do. And so it's just frustrating because they can't seem to fix this issue. And when it's just different guys coming in and out, I just have to look at the coaching. But also, there's discussion about Joe Burrow holding onto the ball for too long, trying to make things happen. And to me, that's definitely a factor. Because once Jake Browning came into the game, it's almost like Zach Taylor changed his whole offensive play calling philosophy. They had short screens, got rid of the ball quickly. So I kind of wish they would do that more at Joe, and maybe part of this is on Joe for not, getting rid of the ball quickly enough. But let me say something here. Part of what is frustrating with these injuries is also part of what makes him great, because he's great at improvising. He wants to make things happen, and unfortunately, there's a downside to that. Overall, though, I think that this Bengals team just does not want to establish the run for whatever reason. Chase Brown's a capable running back, but they're not really utilizing him right, and so it's just putting Joe in a difficult spot where he's having to step up in the pocket, try to make plays, and it's honestly hard to watch him at this point, as talented and great as he is, because I'm always just so afraid of, when is he going to get hurt again? And sure enough, he's hurt again. And the Andrew Luck comparisons, the is he made out of glass comparisons, or, not comparisons, but the people are saying that, and it's hard to really deny at this point. Love the guy. He's a great kid, and he cares and he's invested. But sports isn't meant to be fair, and he's got a long road ahead of him as far as recovery goes. And Jake Browning's going to get a shot, and it's too early to bail in the season, to bail on the team. I think he's capable. They do have a tough schedule. If they can somehow just hold water, I guess, until Joe gets back, that's really all I can ask for at this point. And Jake's got to lean on his playmakers and let Jamar and T and others try to make things happen. But yeah, not really a great day in Bengals fandom. We're dealing with a situation that unfortunately is, we're traveling down the familiar road, so to speak. I will say one other thing about the game. Our defense is definitely not great by any means, but they seem to make big plays when they need to make big plays. So that is encouraging to see. But yeah, 2-0 record. Fortunately, that's not going to be the focal point. I'm curious to see what Jake Browning does against Minnesota next week. That's our next opponent. Might do a preview video on that here in the days ahead. But yeah, it was fun to be at the Bengals game. I don't get to go live very often. Always cool being back at the stadium. Fun ending, but the Burrow news definitely, yeah, it sucks. No other way around it. But yeah, I just want to come in here and vent and share some thoughts. If you guys have anything you want to leave behind, feel free to do so. Until next time, I'll talk to you later. Take care.